Why?
Because they left all the entertaining stuff for when he's dead and he's not there to see it. And in the daytime when he's actually alive, nothing happens.
Yeah, but he's going along the sky. That's why nothing's happening.
No. Unorthodox reactions, unorthodox intro. Welcome back, guys, to another unorthodox reactions. What I need you to do right now is get up. Everybody get up. And now sit back down.
Oh.
You're welcome.
Oh, I thought we were going to do like a little prayer thing. Sorry.
I was gonna, but I couldn't be bothered to freestyle.
Get out. And let's get energy. All right, guys. I want you to go left, right. Make sure you extend those legs. Extend them.
And free fall.
And if you've got space, you want to jump in the air. In the air. Hands in the air.
Like I'm making like a Sean T.
Welcome back, guys.
Welcome back, guys.
Unorthodox exercises.
It's good to see you.
In again.
I'm guessing it's good to be back.
My item of the day, let me know, is a telescope.
Or a speaker.
This is why he doesn't work as a scientist.
Or a telescope.
Or
an audio engineer, because I don't know what he's doing.
Yeah, so that's
apparently we're developing a whole new language.
You know. Alright, this is my item of the day. Thank you for checking in. We're on Orthodox Reactions and
overly sarcastic production.
Can you let me finish quickly?
Is what we have for you today.
If you're new here, this is what we do. We waste about
Miscellaneous myths. The journey of Ra.
They can't hear us when we speak
Egyptian
together.
god.
No, seriously, they can't hear us.
I know.
The new people,
that's why I do it.
The people aren't going to be there to support us because they're going to be like, these two are really annoying. I'm trying to really get these new people to like us. You get what I mean?
We're not in this business for them to like us. They just have to be entertained. All right? They don't have to like us.
Right.
Yeah.
But still, we need them to do what? Like, comment, subscribe.
Yeah, not like us, just like the video.
Yeah, like the video, comment, and subscribe.
So if they're annoyed,
subscribe, like, and then comment.
They can be annoyed and still like the video. That's what I'm saying.
But yeah. So guys, if you're new here, this is what we do. We waste about a minute or 2 minutes of your life. Let's get to the video. Let's do it. Yeah, the video. Get into the video. Wallahi, the video's gonna play.
You said for them to like us, I need to stop talking.
Yeah, play the video though.
Oh, no, probably do that.
Yeah, freaking out.
Thing about mythology is that by necessity its stories exist exclusively in the past. A modern mythology for a living culture isn't called a mythology, it's called a religion or a tradition or a belief system. Mythologies are historical. Creation myths, for example, explicitly kick off how the world began, and most hero stories by necessity talk about how a hero lived and died in the past. Past tense myths are convenient for us because the mythos to us already exists in the past, so we can just think of their myths as having taken place in some faraway time and place. Some mythologies also have future myths, like Ragnarok, that are expected to take place in some nebulous future time frame. And those are fine too, because we can just think of them as happening eventually. But some mythologies confuse matters by having continuing or cyclic myths that don't end in the past but continue into the present. This makes things a little complicated, because the mythos is past tense, but the myth itself is present or future tense, so when exactly we're supposed to think about it happening gets a little confused. What do you do when a mythology has a concept of eternity that outlives the mythology itself? Aside from adapting it into nifty urban fantasy premises, of course. Now, for an example of a mythology with a concept of practical eternity, ancient Egypt actually had two of them, named Renpet and He, where Renpet was a female goddess of the yearly cycle, and He or Hauhet was an ambiguously gendered representation of infinity itself. Perhaps unsurprisingly, for a culture so strongly dependent on yearly cycles of river flooding, ancient Egypt had a lot of cyclic themes. But the most well-known one is probably the journey of Ra. Now, Ra is the ancient Egyptian sun god, or rather, a sun god, because there are kind of a lot of them. For a quick rundown of some of the other contenders for the title, Aten was the sun disk, whose worship outpaced Ra's under the rule of Akhenaten. Amun wasn't a sun god until he got fused with Ra into being Amun-Ra, and Horus was usually just a sky god, but on occasion would be fused with Ra too. Ancient Egypt really liked remixing their gods for some reason, but the main sun god, and the one that basically everyone except Akhenaten agreed was a sun god, was Ra. Now, we've talked about Ra once before, when he took out his eye to create the vengeful war goddess Sekhmet, and subsequently retired to his bark forever. This myth could be considered the sequel to that little misadventure, as it outlines what exactly Ra does in that sun bark all day every day. Or rather, every night, because we know what he does during the day. He's busy being the sun, after all. So Ra's sun bark sails across the sky through a river that loops through the sky and underworld, the notion being that it's one of two rivers, the other one being the Nile. The points where the river intersects with the horizon are the mountains Baku in the east and Manu in the west. They also do double duty holding up the sky. Fun fact, the hieroglyph for horizon specifically refers to the parts of horizon that the sun passes through, the gates of Ra. Anyway, so in the course of a single day, Ra sails through 24 kingdoms, each one a different hour with different rules and rulers. During the day, Ra travels through the 12 kingdoms of the day, each of which he rules. It's pretty uneventful. But things start to get interesting as Ra approaches Manu and the first of the gates of night. The sacred apes that live on Manu go nuts and mourn the death of Ra because, by the way, he's dead now. The bark passes through the gates as the sun sets, and that's where the fun begins.
How?
So the bark gets picked up by 12 goddesses of the night who start towing it along. Each night goddess is specifically equipped to handle the challenges of one of the 12 kingdoms of the night, and they're fairly important for reasons that will become clear at approximately 1 a.m. So the first kingdom of night is called the Watercourse of Ra, and not a whole lot happens here. It's kind of dark, but conveniently illuminated by a squad of fire-breathing snakes. The wolf-headed war god Upawat guides the boat, and Sa, the first night goddess, guards the boat from anything that might try and interfere. That takes Ra through the first hour of night and into the second, where the bark passes through a huge, spiky gate guarded by 3 huge poison-breathing snakes. This is where Sa taps out and the second goddess of night taps in, opening the gate and telling the snakes to chill out for a second by invoking their real names. This kingdom of night is called Ur-Nes, or more specifically Oranos, and it's actually kind of a party. This is the part of the underworld where dead kings live, along with the gods Bes, Nepra, and Tepuin, so things are pretty sweet here. What with all the snakes and spikes and such, it's basically the afterlife equivalent of a fancy suburban gated community. Another gate, another snake, another goddess, and it's on to the third kingdom of night, affectionately nicknamed the Watercourse of the Only God, because this is where Osiris lives. This is where Osiris does all the dead people judging stuff with the help of 4 of Horus's sons, each of whom is in charge of protecting a different set of organs. And if they look or sound familiar, it's because these are the dudes whose heads are on all those canopic jars. Symbolism. Moving on to the fourth kingdom of night, we've got Living One of Forms, which is also part of Osiris's domain, but beyond that it's pretty miserable. There's nothing around but a metric buttload of, take a guess, multi-headed snakes, and also the river disappears and turns into a ravine, charmingly called the Mouth of the Tomb. So in the absence of any water to sail through, the fourth night goddess transforms the bark into, no points for guessing on this one, a giant snake, yup, which carries them through the 4th hour of night. The 5th hour is just called Hidden, and it's at the bottom of the huge ravine from
I hope my silence has been long enough for you guys to subscribe.
Oh, you were quiet?
No.
I did not even notice, bro.
See, I'm just that good, apparently.
Honestly, I just thought.
And all
it
the
was-
snake kind of reminds me of Orochimaru.
Oh,
'Cause
back
it's
again.
Hey, they've subscribed by now. All right, relax.
All right.
All the snake kind of reminds me of Orochimaru because it's just, snakes and... Or Sasuke, I don't know.
Kingdom 4. This kingdom is ruled by Seker, a mummified falcon god whose job it is to punish people by dunking them in a boiling lake. There's also a couple sphinxes and, you guessed it, more snakes. The far wall of the canyon is charmingly named the Realm of Night and Darkness, but despite the ominous title, something good actually lives there. Kepra, a little scarab beetle with a big job we'll talk about in more detail later. So Kepra buzzes in and lands on the still dead Ra, and the boat sails on. Kingdom number 6, the Abyss of
Does he
Waters,
revive
is
him?
another Osiris place, this one in his capacity as a fertility god. The river's back, the boat is a boat again, and shockingly, this part is actually devoid of snakes. Anyway, hour 6 is also really mysterious. There's a bunch of unknown gods on the banks of the river, and there's a huge lion for some reason, and 3 shrines we're not supposed to know the purpose for, and it's just really arcane. Anyway, if you were disappointed by the lack of snakes in hour 6, don't worry. Hour 7, the secret cavern, has snakes for days. This is where the ludicrously giant serpent Apophis lives, and Apophis is noteworthy because he makes it his personal life goal to eat Ra.
I feel like they kind of... I don't know who came up with this system, but they kind of did right there either.
Why?
Because they left all the entertaining stuff for when he's dead and he's not there to see it. And in the daytime when he's actually alive, nothing happens.
Yeah, but he's going along the sky. That's why nothing's happening.
No. Well, yeah, he is, but something can still happen. It's not like he can't see down below.
Yeah, but he can't see through the ground to see where they are.
Yeah, but okay, why is he like underground now then? Shouldn't there
Because
be
he's
like
dead.
a sky in the underworld or something?
He's dead.
And consequently end the world. But luckily for everyone, the goddess Isis is ready on the bark with some nifty magic to summon a different giant snake named Mehen to fight Apophis. Selket and Horus dive off the boat to fight Apophis too.
Oh my god, that's a lot of reading, mate.
Noticed who the second god is that fights alongside. I don't know how to say that. Selket isn't actually clear. In the version I read, he was arrested to be Herod. I'm gonna suffer with these names. Herod, I don't know, which is another name for Horus. However, in the Amduas, this god is set, performing what amounts to his only heroic role in the mythos. Set may be a god of chaos and destruction, but he's no fan of office. Office? Oh, its desire to destroy everything. Apparently, in later versions of the story, the second god is Set, but wearing a falcon head to look like Horus. Ah, okay. Because the ancient Egyptians liked screwing with our heads, apparently. I don't know. I'm pretty sure I got all of those names wrong. I did not say them right. Because I kept stumbling on the names.
Yeah, no, I do not fault you. I just
So he'll be sufficiently weakened that Isis's magic will be able to seal him away for another night. With that party over, it's on to hour 8, the Sarcophagus of the Gods, where dead gods call out to Ra from the banks of the river. The boat is escorted by 4 rams, which apparently collectively represent Tatanen, a genderless primordial earth god. By the way, if you're noticing how many Egyptian gods are genderless, I don't actually know why this is, but among other things, a lot of gods, especially minor ones, explicitly have 2 variants of their name, one male and one female, and will be referenced in either capacity. For example, Bes and Nepra, the gods I mentioned earlier that live in the second kingdom of night, also have feminine counterparts Beset and Nepet. So that's neat. Anyway, we're in the home stretch when we reach hour 9, the procession of images, a bright and cheerful land where the dead go to receive offerings from the living. Hour 10 is similarly pleasant, called Abyss of Waters, Lofty of Banks, where the residents come down to the river to greet the bark. And hey, we got more snakes again! The Morning Star, a 2-headed snake with legs, guides the boat, and also this is the hour when the scarab Kepra merges with Ra and brings him back to life. A lot happens at 4 a.m. basically. Hour 11, the mouth of the cavern, is a bit of a return to underworld form in that it's rather less cheery than hours 9 or 10. The boat is towed onward by 3, 2, 1, a snake, and the whole area is red lit and kind of dismal because this is where especially bad people are tormented in fire pits by monstrous fire-breathing goddesses. Anyone who's had to be awake at 5 a.m. can confirm. And finally, hour 12, the extravagantly named Darkness has Fallen and Births Shine Forth, is where dawn finally breaks. Ra's not resurrected so much as he is reborn as Kepra, who is basically an aspect of Ra specifically in his capacity as the rising sun. And in case you were wondering, yes, there is a snake here. His name is Life of the Gods, and his body actually is the 12th kingdom of night. To end his nightly journey, Ra sails out of the serpent's mouth and into a brand new snaky day.
Okay.
and then the Z.
So snake counter 6.
Not that much. I
If
thought
it
it was
kind of bothers, for frick's sake.
Yeah, you can. Not
If it kind of bothers you that Ra's east-west journey went from left to right for most of the video, despite the fact that on the compass rose east is right and west is left. I have a justification prepared. The ancient Egyptians oriented themselves south instead of north. Okay. Kepri really is that freakily looking in the painting that shows him. He's got an entire scarab beetle stamped on his face. It's a little unsettling. Ra's reborn. Okay, calm down and relax. Ra's reborn, not resurrected, which means he leaves a corpse behind. Okay.
Oh.
This corpse is unceremoniously dumped over the side of the bark. Okay. So it's just the bark just filled with corpses of Ra. Okay. On Middle Egyptian facts. Middle Egyptian hieroglyphs is a Semitic language that thus has no written vowel sounds, but a later writing system adopted in Egypt that used Greek letters to write Egyptian words did include written vowel sounds. How did it? Okay. How did they?
No idea.
Pull that off then?
No idea.
Well, I just realized, is that her singing?
No, is it?
It sounded like it. What?
Why'd you go back? She's not gonna.
I said, listen.
She's not gonna stop singing.
This means that we know the pronunciation of words that were written in Coptic, but for words that were only ever written in hieroglyphs, we have no idea what vowels would have filled the spaces between the consonants. It's just silence.
They're just there like, nah,
So
can't read
by
it.
convention, we insert an E wherever 2 consonants can't be. Did a rhyme. Can't be changed together. For example, I don't know what that is. Biliteral sign with consonant values PR is pronounced per. Okay. This is why some Egyptian gods' names have a weirdly large number of E's in them. Sekhmet. Oh, okay. Selkit, Bes, Neper, Set, etc. While only a handful have proper vowels. Osiris, Isis, Horus Anubis. That was Anubis. I was trying to remember his name, the wolf guy. ECC. Those multi-vowel deities were the ones with names we found Coptic spellings for. Okay. Also, since it was a
Oh my god,
pictograph,
there's a minute of reading.
relax, bro.
There's a minute.
Freaking calm down. I'm trying to read. Also, since it was a pictograph turned logograph,
That's funny,
language,
bro. I've
one of
never
the
seen
way
you
they
like that.
represented more complex concept was by way of rebuses and puns. If two words had the same consonant values, but only one had an easy pictograph representation, the other word would be written with the same pictographic character in English. This would be like writing bad with a picture of a bed or shy with a shoe. Okay. Obviously, this will make it hard to tell which thing you were talking about, which is why Middle Egyptian used determinatives, soundless characters at the end of written words, describing some characteristics that made the meaning clear. So not only do they have to like figure out which word they mean, they then have to write a description of the. It's like writing an essay just to write a
say
word.
what word you
Every
say.
time you want to write a
Like,
word,
by the way,
you have to write
this
an
word
essay.
means this.
And this is why names would usually end. Oh, see, hieroglyphs always baffle me because yeah, it's literally just pictures, and I'm like, how did people like from modern day figure it out? Because I'm like, because all of the Egyptian stuff was written in so there had to have been like someone that decoded it that spoke both hieroglyph and normal language. Because I'm like, if no one translated it and everyone from the Egyptian time died out, there's no way they would be able to like assume like, oh, this is what this means, this is what this picture means.
100%.
This is why names
What if
would
they're just wrong?
maybe that's also a possibility. Would usually end with or a man sitting on a chair, Ben Franklin, or a crown. The seated man and woman determine. Oh, that does not look like a seated woman. That looks like a messed up jester clown. Jester hat. Sorry, woman determine. The seated man or woman determinatives explaining that this word describes a person of the specified gender. Got you. Gods were special and got their own determinatives. For Ra, they literally looked the exact same as what I just saw before.
Right, it's got like a baby on
For
it.
Amun, his got like a wolf head, and for Set, where's Set's one? Oh, okay, wait, no.
Yeah.
This is Ra's.
Yeah,
this is Ra's. This
yeah.
is Amun's, and this is Set's.
Yeah.
I got you. ECC. And thank you all for your donation and Patreon. See, we got there eventually.
That's Unorthodox reactions. I'm not gonna.
Dang,
That's
you trying to get up out of
much
here real
energy
quick.
out of me.
What the hell?
I don't know why.
He just doesn't like reading apparently.
Yeah, I
Freaking
don't.
hell. But that was good. There was a lot of information. I think we're gonna need to watch another video on Ra because I did not fully understand like everything in this video.
Yeah, there's definitely more to it.
Yeah,
Okay.
and I think she has like 2 other videos on Ra that they did, so we might go back to those as well. But we hope you guys enjoyed this. As
Thank you for
usual, we
checking in. If
did.
you're still
Like,
watching,
comment,
we
subscribe,
appreciate you.
notification bell, all
If
the
you're
good
not, we
stuff.
still appreciate you.
Comment, reaction, suggestions below.
Stay blessed
And we shall see you
in the next
in the
one.
next one. In a bit.
Peace.